Hello, history enthusiasts. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're delving into one of the most extraordinary events of World War II, the evacuation of Dunkirk. Let's explore the lead-up to this critical moment and the incredible rescue operation that saved hundreds of thousands of lives. German forces bypassed the heavily fortified Maginot Line by advancing through the Ardennes Forest, Indiana, May 1940. The German Wehrmacht launched a blitzkrieg, or lightning war, against France and the Low Countries. This rapid and devastating offensive quickly overwhelmed Allied forces, forcing them to retreat towards the coast. The startling swiftness of the German offensive threatened to trap all Allied troops north of the thrust by Army Group A as Guderian sent 3 panzer divisions racing towards the channel ports of Boulogne, Calais, and Dunkirk. 3 key positions: the French at Lille, the Belgian army units along the Lys River, and the British at Calais offered resistance to the German onslaught. Within 72 hours of reaching Abbeville, the Germans captured both Boulogne and Calais. Elements of the 1st Panzer Division had advanced to within 19 kilometers of Dunkirk. Although ordered to mount a counterattack in support of the French, Field Marshal John Lord Gort, commander of the British Expeditionary Force, chose instead to concentrate his troops in the vicinity of Dunkirk in the aim to evacuate and save as many troops as possible. The heroic defense of Lille by the French, of Boulogne by the 2nd Battalion Irish Guards and a battalion of Welsh Guards, and Calais by the British 30th Infantry Brigade, brought precious time to mount a defensive position at Dunkirk. By late May, around 400,000 Allied soldiers were stranded on the beaches of Dunkirk with their backs to the sea, surrounded by the German army. The situation seemed dire, and a massive evacuation effort was their only hope. As early as the 20th of May, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill initiated Operation Dynamo, a plan to evacuate the trapped soldiers. The number of vessels the Royal Navy could provide were not enough, as well as a majority of them being too big to reach the shores of Dunkirk. Vice Admiral Bertram Ramsay called for boats excess of 9.3 meters in length to assemble at ports in England. The Royal Navy, along with civilian boats, began the treacherous journey through a maze of German contact mines sown in the channel, under continuous air attack and often within range of fire from heavy German artillery, all before beginning the perilous task of rescuing the stranded troops under constant threat from German air and ground forces. The greatest assistance of the Allied forces at the time came from Hitler himself. Quite unexpectedly, on May the 24th, the Führer visited the headquarters of General Gerd von Rundstedt, commander of Army Group A, at Charleville. Influenced by the Reichsmarschall Hermann Göring, the decision was made to allow his Luftwaffe deliver the final blow to the enemy at Dunkirk. To Guderian's dismay, Hitler directed the tanks of the 6 Panzer divisions to halt along the AA Canal. For nearly 48 hours, the German ground assault abetted, and the Allied troops were pummeled by screeching Stukas and by Luftwaffe fighters. On the 26th of May, the ground attack resumed, but the reprieve allowed Gort to patch together a defensive line from the Gravelines in the south to Nieuport, Belgium in the north. 2 days later, the Belgian King Leopold III ordered his forces to surrender, and the Allied defensive perimeter contract. Eventually, the Allies were squeezed into a pocket only 11 kilometers wide. What followed was nothing short of a miracle. Over 800 vessels, including military ships and a flotilla of little ships, fishing boats, pleasure craft, and lifeboats, crossed the English Channel to aid in the rescue. This remarkable civilian effort played a crucial role in the evacuation. Luftwaffe bombing had set the town of Dunkirk ablaze and wrecked the port facilities. Rescue vessels were compelled to risk running aground in the shoals along the beaches or to tie up at one of 2 moles, rocky breakwaters covered with planking wide enough for men to stand 3 abreast in order to take soldiers aboard. Countless acts of heroism occurred as vessels made numerous shuttle runs. One 19-meter yacht, the Sundowner, carried 130 soldiers to safety, while close to 100 perished aboard the paddle-wheel steamer Fenella when a German bomb ripped through its detonated. Nearly one-third of the 693 vessels involved were destroyed, but from the 26th of May until the final rescue run in the pre-dawn of the 4th of June, a total of 338.226 Allied soldiers reached England. When the battered and exhausted Allied troops arrived on the shores of England, they were welcomed as heroes. Though they were forced to leave behind a vast amount of equipment and many wounded, the successful evacuation was a significant morale booster for the Allies. However, in true Churchill fashion, although this was seen as a great victory, it was one of the greatest defeats the British and the French had suffered in their history. Churchill grasped, "Wars are not won by evacuation." In the aftermath, Winston Churchill delivered his famous "We shall fight on the beaches" speech, emphasizing that wars are not won by evacuations, but also acknowledging the immense courage and resilience shown at Dunkirk. This event became known as the Miracle of Dunkirk, a testament to human endurance and solidarity in the face of overwhelming odds. Historians have debated Hitler's reasons for halting the panzers. Some assert the focus of the Germans was already on the complete defeat of France and the capture of Paris. Others say that Hitler was concerned about the marshy terrain in Flanders, which was less than ideal for maneuvering tanks. The tanks themselves had been driven rapidly and engaged for some time. Many of them needed refitting, and some of their precious number would have been lost in all-out attack on the Allied defenses. Göring had argued that the Luftwaffe was certainly more loyal and fervently Nazi than the leadership of the German army. Therefore, his air arm should be given the honor of annihilating the enemy. In the end, the Luftwaffe had failed to force an Allied capitulation. Thousands of Allied soldiers had escaped death or capture. The Miracle of Dunkirk stands as a stirring moment in military history, and Hitler's decision to halt his panzers as one of the great what-ifs of World War II. In conclusion, the Dunkirk evacuation was a turning point in World War II. It showcased the bravery of both military and civilian participants and highlighted the importance of unity and perseverance, as well as the importance of perception and propaganda in the morale of the people who are fighting for you. If you found this exploration of Dunkirk insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into pivotal moments in history. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.